And someone else who I reckon has a photo of themselves on their lock screen is Meghan Markle, because she turned 44 and she received a gushing birthday message from no one else but herself, her own lifestyle brand.
Trevor Engelson, Meghan Markle's ex-husband, has finally broken his silence, and he chose the most humiliating moment possible to do it. Her 44th birthday, a seemingly low-profile video clip, quietly posted on a niche industry platform, went viral within hours. In it, Engelson spills unsettling secrets from Meghan's past, revelations that cut straight through the polished image she spent years perfecting. From tales of manipulation and control to ruthless ambition, his words are now forcing the world to re-examine every part of her carefully crafted public persona.
Ever posted on its official Instagram, celebrating the woman behind it all. She pours her heart, vision, and magic touch into every detail. And today, we raise a glass to her. Happy birthday to our...
Even Meghan's most loyal supporters are in shock. The so-called Duchess of the Internet in Montecito is reportedly in full-blown crisis mode, and with good reason. In the explosive video, Trevor Engelson didn't hold back for a second. Speaking with precision and purpose, he painted Meghan as one of the most calculating people he had ever met. According to Trevor, the charm, grace, and ambition the world admired were just the glossy surface, hiding something far more strategic underneath.
This is so awkward because in previous interviews, she has said she runs the As Ever social media herself. So happy birthday, Meghan, and I'm glad you're very excited for your own birthday.
They should change the name of her company from As Ever to As If.
Behind closed doors, Trevor claims Meghan was always calculating her next move, chasing status, recognition, and powerful connections, even if it meant sacrificing loyalty or love. He recounted moments from their marriage when her hunger for fame completely overshadowed the bond they once shared. Most shocking of all, he alleged that while still married to him, Meghan was already edging her way into elite social circles, quietly testing the waters for a life far removed from their modest beginnings in Los Angeles. And notably, Trevor's words weren't delivered in bitterness, they carried the weight of cold, deliberate truth.
As if anyone else would have sent out such a gushing birthday message to her. I mean, not even Harry would have a mind to do such a thing. Well, I just wish we could see the birthday messages that the rest of the royal family would send, because I suspect they'd be a lot more
But his voice carried the conviction of someone who had been deeply used and then cast aside. What shook viewers the most was Trevor's claim that Meghan had meticulously built a public image worlds apart from the person she truly was behind closed doors. He described countless moments when she would rehearse her tone, expressions, and body language, perfecting exactly how to act for interviews or glide down a red carpet.
Which brings us to the topic of Meghan Markle. It's her 44th birthday. Happy birthday to you and all that. On Instagram, there's not really anybody posting happy birthday to Meghan on Instagram, but luckily she's posted.
Trevor claimed Meghan treated social situations like auditions, not genuine human connections. He even produced photos and messages to support his account, showing her actively workshopping her own identity to appeal more to casting directors, producers, and eventually royalty. This revelation cuts to the very core of Meghan's public credibility. If the warm, relatable, humanitarian image is nothing more than a performance, what does that say about her motives today? Trevor's words now cast long, dark shadows over her current projects and her public claims of victimhood and authenticity. He went on to describe how everything shifted after Meghan landed her role in Suits, the big break that propelled her into the spotlight. According to him, it wasn't the success itself that caused problems, but how she let it reshape her character. Trevor painted a picture of a woman growing more distant, entitled, and dismissive, even toward those she had once depended on, himself included.
Exclusive birthday greetings to herself. Here is her post saying, let's have a look at it. Can't quite read it.
Celebrating the woman behind it all.
Yeah, so this is celebrating the woman behind it all. She pours her heart, vision, magic, and touch into every detail. And today we raise a glass to her. Happy birthday.
One moment in particular stood out like a flashing warning sign. Trevor recalled how, after just one season of Suits, Meghan began surrounding herself with an entirely different crowd. not friends who offered emotional support, but people who could boost her image and expand her brand. She allegedly started declining invitations from her longtime friends and insisted on being treated like a full-fledged star. Trevor's account draws a sharp, undeniable contrast between the Meghan he married, a struggling actress with humble roots, and the Meghan he later saw, an ambitious figure chasing royal-level status. But perhaps the most damning part of his confession was the ultimatum Meghan delivered shortly before their divorce. According to Trevor, she told him bluntly, "Either you move to Toronto full-time and change your career, or we're done." At the time, Meghan was living in Canada for Suits, while Trevor was still in Los Angeles running his production company. He says she showed zero flexibility or support for his work, leaving him with an impossible choice.
To our founder, Meghan. That's her. As ever official. That's basically her congratulating herself. It's amazing, isn't it?
With the comments off, like if you're confident in this messaging, wouldn't you leave the comments on so that all of your fans that are rushing to buy your rosé?
Trevor said it came down to this: completely abandon his career or lose her. He felt as though he was being asked to give up his very identity for someone who had already emotionally checked out. It became the final blow in a marriage that by then felt entirely one-sided. But his last revelation in the clip, at least for now, is perhaps the most chilling. Trevor claims Meghan had a pre-planned exit strategy long before their divorce was even finalized. According to him, she had already removed sentimental belongings, separated their finances, and quietly unfollowed many of their mutual contacts on social media. He described it as a professional breakup, every move rehearsed and timed with cold precision. The signs, he says, were all there. She withdrew emotionally, stopped calling his family, and even stopped referring to him as her husband in conversations. Looking back, Trevor believes she had made the decision to move on the moment a bigger opportunity crossed her path.
In your loose fruit spread would be leaving comments underneath it, praising you for being so genius, including your magic and your mixed bag of pretzels and air. On With Love, Meghan. I mean, I think it says a lot that she shuts the comments off. She knows that there are going to be people in the comment section that are like, what?
To Trevor, it was clear he had been nothing more than a stepping stone on her climb to the top. And that's only half the story. What's coming next dives into the hidden Hollywood connections Meghan allegedly tried to keep from public view, her supposed manipulation of media narratives after the divorce, and why Trevor believes she's now repeating the exact same pattern with Prince Harry. What follows isn't just shocking, it's the slow unraveling of a carefully engineered illusion. In the now viral clip dropped, allegedly on Meghan's 44th birthday, Trevor didn't just talk about their personal struggles. He reportedly exposed a side of Meghan that even her most devoted supporters are struggling to defend. According to him, she was consumed by clout chasing. He described how she methodically selected her inner circle, prioritizing those who could elevate her public profile. Trevor claims she would often cut off people she once called close friends simply because they no longer held value in her social climb.
Why are you wishing yourself a happy birthday? Get out of here. Also, isn't it unfortunate that she shares a birthday with the Queen Mother? Queen Elizabeth's
That's
mother.
true.
I'd much rather be talking about her. She was fun. She liked to have she knew how to drink. She could drink Meghan's rosé under the table. But
this paints a jaw-dropping picture of a woman driven not by love or loyalty, but by pure ambition and carefully staged optics. Trevor's chilling account adds fuel to the theory that Meghan's Hollywood rise, and even her royal chapter, were never about love or service. They were about power, influence, and relentless publicity. One of the most explosive claims in the clip is Trevor's allegation that Meghan lived two completely separate lives: the polished, public-facing activist and duchess versus the cold, calculating figure she revealed in private. He allegedly described a woman who rehearsed sincerity the way an actress prepares for a role, studying public speaking tapes not for growth, but to perfect the art of deception. Trevor detailed how she could summon tears on command when it suited her image, only to switch off every trace of emotion the instant the camera stopped.
I guess if people really, really loved Meghan, they might be prepared to go to that trouble. But here's the problem. They don't really, really love Meghan, do they? Quite the reverse. So they're not bothering to go to that trouble. And as I predicted,
if true, this revelation shatters the image Meghan has spent years polishing: the modern, compassionate humanitarian. Instead, it bolsters what her critics have argued all along. Her entire public persona is a carefully executed performance. Trevor reportedly claimed that Meghan harbored deep resentment toward the British royal family long before she ever met Harry. According to him, she would often speak sarcastically about the monarchy, mocking its traditions and labeling it an outdated racist institution. This account directly clashes with her own narrative that she entered royal life with pure intentions, only to be blindsided by what she encountered. If Trevor's words are accurate, Meghan's royal chapter may have been a calculated move from the very start. If Trevor's claims hold true, they point to a far more calculated motive, that Meghan's royal marriage was less about love and more about a long-laid plan to enter the monarchy, reshape it from within, and position herself as a global headline maker. According to Trevor, Meghan kept a firm grip on every relationship in her orbit, including his. He described her as someone who controlled when they appeared in public, what they wore, and even how they interacted, all meticulously tailored to the image she wanted the world to see. This alleged behavior, he says, extended to her family, friends, and even professional colleagues. Trevor's Bombshell paints Meghan not as someone who stumbled into fame, but as a mastermind who engineered it, directing the people around her like cast members in her own personal reality show. And if her marriage to Harry is following the same playbook, it forces the question, how much of their fairy tale romance is actually real? Trevor's video reportedly ends with a conclusion that hits hard. Meghan has a long-standing pattern of erasing her past the moment it no longer serves her image. From friends to family to former partners, she allegedly cuts ties completely and acts as if they never existed. Trevor claims she once told him directly, if you want to reinvent yourself, you have to delete your old chapters. That mindset not only explains her sudden and dramatic exit from royal life, but also her ongoing effort to rewrite her own story, casting herself as the victim while quietly concealing the calculated power moves that helped her climb to the top. If even a fraction of these revelations proves true, they could shatter the delicate foundation of Meghan Markle's carefully crafted empire. Behind closed doors, Meghan was reportedly both furious and panicked. Insiders claim she immediately called in her PR team and legal advisors to launch an all-out damage control operation. The strategy, they say, included suppressing the video, hitting platforms with copyright threats, and flooding the media with feel-good stories and charity appearances to shift the conversation. But the internet is not so easily muzzled. Once the clip began circulating, it was mirrored, re-uploaded, and chopped into bite-sized segments across thousands of channels and social accounts, making it virtually impossible to erase from public view. What made the situation even worse for Meghan was how authentic and composed Trevor appeared in the video. There was no trace of bitterness or revenge in his voice. He spoke like a man who had finally reached peace and clarity, simply sharing his truth without spite. Ironically, that calm, steady tone made his words even more believable. It stood in stark contrast to Meghan's usual PR-polished outrage, making her reaction seem scripted and performative by comparison. To the public, the difference was obvious. One came across as genuine, the other as pure image management. The Bombshell revelations also reignited public curiosity about Meghan's past. Old interviews, buried blog posts, deleted social media content, and comments from former colleagues and friends were suddenly being dissected in detail. Viewers started connecting the dots, spotting striking similarities between Meghan's alleged behavior with Trevor and her dynamic with Prince Harry. Many concluded that traits like emotional withdrawal, controlling tendencies, and an obsession with image weren't new at all. They were long-standing patterns she had worked hard to conceal. This wasn't just the fallout of a failed marriage, this was a full-scale exposure of character.